Hello and welcome. I'm Mark McPherson. Welcome to a crash course on how to deal with difficult people and do it effectively, efficiently and ethically. I've actually documented 52 types of difficult people and I've got no doubt you'll recognise the lot, and I've got no doubt that you can add a few more. We have the backstabber, put-down merchant. We have the space invader, a polite term perhaps for sexual harassment. We have the bigot, and once again, they don't have bigot written on their forehead. They're just ordinary people who come out with the most amazing things. I'm not racist, but we have people who are too personal. I'm surprised at how many people on the front line of organisations have to deal with people who are too personal. You know, the ones who ask questions like, are you married? Where do you live? Oh, you should be married. Oh, is that an engagement ring? It's none of their business. Now, there's nothing wrong with being friendly, there's nothing wrong with being nice, but you know the type who just steps over that boundary and starts asking questions which you have to say, none of your business. The demander, it doesn't matter what you say or do, they want it and they want it now. Thank you very much. The threat maker. And we have one of my favourite friends, the agreement breaker. These are the people who say, I'll have that report done by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Close of business on Friday, it's done. Oh yes, mummy, I most certainly will tidy up my room by the time you come home. And this is what they look like beforehand. They're terrific. But you know, afterwards, they have this look on their face of, oh, you meant 10 o'clock today? No, when you said close of business, Friday, Monday lunchtime, I think, don't you reckon? And did you mean really tidy it up? See, when you said tidy up, I thought you just meant give it a bit of dust over. No, these people cause problems. Now, something that most people don't know is that all difficult people actually have three things in common. And this is really, really important. They behave poorly. The second thing they do is they don't show remorse. And then the third thing they do is they repeat the behaviour. That's what differentiates us from these people we call difficult. Here's what we need to do to deal with these people effectively. Number one, we need to nail the violation. All we're interested in is simply the facts. It's what the camera saw. That's all we're talking about. Not, oh, you were nasty, you were horrible, you were belligerent. That might be true. But when we're nailing the violation, we want to be very, very specific about people's behaviour. That's the third time, Mr. Jones, that you've used the F word in this conversation. And the second thing we need to do when we're nailing the violation is be very clear about why it's a problem. Because if it's not a problem, it's simply just something you don't like. The second thing we need to do is what I call tailor the strategies. Now, I have a list of strategies written out, but we need to tailor them. And what I'm going to go through now is not the actual strategies themselves. I'm just going to go through the headings of these groups of strategies. So the first group, if you're at risk of harm, make safety your priority, is use the support available. The third thing is leave them to it. You do not have to be friends with everybody that you've met in your life. The fourth thing is, in general conversation, be assertive yet diplomatic. Now, what I mean by that is, well, I was working with a council a little while ago, and they had some staff who simply had to give information to people who were sometimes rude. And they wanted to have arguments with them. So what we did was develop some scripts where they could simply say to the people, here's the information, this is what it is, get it over and done with. May I help you with anything else, or is there anything else I can help you with today? That's a script. Indirectly shape people's behaviour. We all do it. The kindergarten teacher does it by, you two, you're separated. So there's ways in which you can shape their behaviour without actually confronting them. There is a time when you need to directly change people's behaviour. You need to actually say to people, Bill, we don't use that language in this office. And lo and behold, if anyone knows me, you know that I like scripts. These are just two. The FEA script. Tell them the facts, explain why it's a problem, and ask, is there something we can do together to solve this problem? There's a limit to how many times you can say to your lovely son who fails to tidy up their room when you've asked them to tidy up. There's a limit to how many times you can put up with it before you have to say, I warned you, you are no longer going out on Saturday night. So we need to personalise our approach. And the reason being is that we all have our own cultures and cultures within cultures. The way one person can say something is not the same way someone else can say it. So we need to personalise it. Depending on who we're talking to, who we're talking about, when we're talking to them, and what our relationship is to these people. Perhaps there's somebody within inside our family But if they're not, they could be someone from the workplace or our social club. So we need to tailor and then the strategies and then personalise them to fit our particular way of doing things. If you would like to know more about how to deal with difficult people and do it effectively, efficiently and ethically, please give me a call. There's lots of ways of getting in contact with me. You can go straight to my website, for example, and there's a contact page there. Whatever you're doing, look after yourselves, have a great time, look after your family and friends, and I hope to chat to you soon. All the very best.